Good morning. The little wheel has stopped turning, so I'm presuming that we're connected. Thanks for being there. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying the positive side of the shutdown, which is the quietness, the quiet streets, the quiet skies, and possibly more time at home to do some meditation. So, if there's anyone new watching, I'm Alan. We just do our regular Friday meditation, which is basically an hour with two types of meditation. First half of the hour is mindfulness meditation, often called calm abiding meditation, stabilizing meditation. And then the second practice is a analytical meditation, where we use reasoning and arguments and logic and so on to meditate on particular points of the Buddhist teachings. So with the so we'll do our mindfulness meditation first. Just a few introductory comments. Last week we just did breathing meditation followed by an option of just leaving the breath, or partly leaving the breath, and just looking at the breath from the side, just sort of a bit like just letting go of the breath, fully or partly, and just resting from the side, the quietness around the breath, and watching the breath from the side, or letting go of the breath completely and just staying in that stillness. So that's an option. So this week we're going to just go a step further, which is watching mindfulness of mindfulness, it's sometimes called, where we actually don't have an object to meditate on. So briefly, there are sort of three types of mindfulness meditation. The first one is using the senses. So breath is the sense of touch. This is in order of subtlety. So the least subtle is just using the senses. And the breath is the one we use most commonly because it's very easy to find. It's always there. And that's the sense, using the senses of how the breath moves the body, how it enters the body, and that feeling of the breath inside the body. So we can also use a sound. I think we've used sound in the last couple of weeks. What we hear as an object, this sense of hearing, sense of sight, where we open the mind and open the eyes and just watch what's in front of it. So they're basically the three senses that we use: touch, sound, and sight. It's possible to use shapes and taste and smell, but it's a bit hard to do in teaching situation. So that's the senses. So just the next possible object to focus on in mindfulness meditation is the mental consciousness. That's the thoughts, non-physical phenomena, what's happening in the mind. So we have that done maybe a week or two ago, where we start off with the breath and we just gently let go of the breath and look what's happening in the mind, the thoughts. It could be memories, it could be images, what we did yesterday, what we're going to do tomorrow. It could be feelings. We're feeling happy, sad, bored, anxious. So this is obviously more subtle than the sense awareness, when we're focusing on mental states, activities of the mind. So the most subtle of all is the third one, which is meditation without an object. So we don't use an object. We're actually just meditating on awareness itself. Sometimes it's called awareness of awareness. More formally, it's called Mahamudra. And there's particular points that I'm just going to mention from Lama Yeshe's book called Mahamudra, where he actually teaches this type of meditation in great detail. Mahamudra by Lama Yeshe, easy book to get hold of. I think it's available in all formats, on digital, on hard copy. And I believe it's actually, there's some teachings on Mahamudra by Venerable Rabina, who edited the book, on YouTube. So if you Google Rabina on YouTube, or her teachings on this, which she gave at Vajrayana Institute last year, are available in full. So she spends a whole weekend retreat teaching this type of meditation. So a few points when we meditate without an object. Sounds a bit strange, but some of the analogies or examples are, if you think of a mirror, what comes before the mirror? What comes in front of the mirror? So the mirror is the mind, and what comes before the mind is what comes before the mirror. So if there's something walking past or in the mirror, we can see the reflection. If there's nothing, then we just see empty space. So in this meditation, we are the mirror. Instead of just watching what passed in front of the mirror, we become the mirror itself. So that's one comparison or analogy. Another one is the example of the sky and the clouds. The clouds being the thoughts that come through the mind, the sky being our awareness. And this one, we become the sky itself. We become the background, become the screen upon which all these thoughts, images, and so on are projected. We become the lens of the camera. So these different examples help to get an idea of what's involved with the practice. So we abandon, just quoting a few phrases from Lama Yeshe, we abandon all objects, we abandon the senses, or mantras, or concepts. There's no separation between consciousness and the object, no duality, no this and that. We use the fish of awareness to watch for distraction. But this is a very interesting technique that Lama Yeshe uses. The fish of awareness. The fish of awareness, it's like a perfectly still ocean, and our awareness is the fish that's just living in the ocean, looking out at that clean, vast expanse of ocean. And anything that will pass through that water, our fish of awareness will notice. So these are the distractions that pass through the mind. Our fish of awareness will watch for those distractions and watch how what he calls superstition, how superstition distracts. So he's saying these distractions are basically superstitious thoughts. So generally, he said what's needed for this practice, it's not easy, it's a very subtle practice. He says it needs good concentration, but we shouldn't try too hard. So we need to let go. We need to be focused, not too focused. The example he uses is driving a car. When we're learning, we're actually trying very hard, a bit too hard, and the passenger who's in the seat would probably be feeling a little bit uncomfortable because we're so uptight and tense and trying to do everything right. But the person who's more experienced will just be doing the practice much more easily, giving a much smoother ride to the passenger. So this is just an example, one of Lama Yeshe's examples. So if there's we're trying to do the practice, we're trying to go from the breath to awareness of awareness. If there's any kind of uneasiness, feel it's just unsteady, not comfortable, then we go back to the breath. Just return to the breath. And he says this neutralizes the mind, meaning that it calms the mind. So he says, if we do have some success, just be satisfied with any taste we have of the practice, rather than trying to achieve too much. He says the blankets of superstition we shed very one by one at a time. So it's not a quick. We need to do the practice again and again. Don't expect quick success. And one of the great benefits of being able to do the practice is this incredible clarity of mind. And he quotes Tsongkhapa. When he was doing the practice, he said, I could count all the atoms. I'm showing meaning of the outside world. His mind was so sharp, he felt as he could count all the atoms of the objects before him. So Amishi points out that it's not a intellectual practice. It's an experiential practice, so we need to let go of the intellect. One suggestion by Glenn Svensson, who's one of great, very well-known teachers on this practice, who's also a student of Alan Wallace. He says, if we're struggling with the practice, we can ask a question. Who is meditating? Who is meditating? But don't try and answer the question, because that involves too much intellectual thought. So that's another possibility. Just put that question out. And then to settle the mind. So we'll try that. We'll start, of course, with our breath. We'll relax the body, do mindfulness of the body, and then breath awareness, and then we'll move to the awareness of awareness practice. Well, feel free to stay with the breath practice right through the whole session. So let's get ourselves comfortable, either sitting on a chair or floor, or lying down. Body needs to be comfortable for the mind to be comfortable. Just make sure our motivation is positive. Just recalling how fortunate we are to be able to do some practice together. How we will just take the mind as we find it, not too many expectations. Feel that we've left outside the mundane world, the busy mind, we've just let that go. Our motive is to calm our mind and take care of our mind, not just for our own benefit, but for the benefit of those around us and all those, ultimately all living beings. So now we come into the body, scanning the body, looking for any tense or tightness in the body. Making sure our back is reasonably straight, shoulders relaxed, neck and head comfortable. Our weight is evenly distributed on the floor or the chair. Eyes can be closed or just gently opening, gazing in front. And the muscles around the face and the eyes are soft, relaxed. And then start with the out breath, being aware of the out breath. With each out breath, feel that we're letting go all the physical tension in the body. And the mental busyness of the mind, any distractions, that goes out with each out breath. Feeling the body relaxing and the gentle pull of gravity on the body, giving ourselves to the earth, relaxing, letting go. And then gradually giving more attention to the breath. Move into the body with the breath, following the breath all the way into the body, all the way out of the body. Just quietly watching the breath. It's always been there, and now we're noticing. We're aware of the full movement of the body with the breath. So our mind is just focusing on the breath, resting on the breath. But we keep a small part of the mind alert, like a watchman, just monitoring our practice, being alert for the distraction. When the mind leaves the breath, wanders off, or we just check from time to time, are we on the breath or not? When we notice we've actually left the breath, wandered off in thought, be glad we notice that. That's good. We notice a distraction, we let it go, and calmly, patiently come back to the breath. It's the practice. And then stay on the breath. As the mind calms, we can notice subtle differences in each breath, whether it's a short breath, a long breath, even, uneven. Don't judge, just watch, observe, be aware. Staying with the breath. When we notice we've wandered, patiently, gently come back to the breath. Then, as the mind quietens, you notice the awareness around the breath, stillness of awareness. The breath happening within space of awareness. The mind itself. So, we can partly awareness, awareness of awareness. You become the mirror that reflects the breath awareness. There's nothing in front of the mirror. You experience that mirror-like emptiness of the mind. We can ask, who is this? Who is meditating? Without answering, just ask the question and experience awareness of awareness. Using the fish of awareness to notice when disturbing thoughts arise. Just by noticing, they disappear. And return to that mindfulness of awareness, experience of awareness. Just relaxing. A short break. So the second practice that I've chosen, this is the analytical meditation, where we use the mind, use reasoning, and there's a very wonderful teacher, young monk, teacher, Tibetan monk, who's mostly in Australia, teaching at various centres that don't have a resident geshe. So he's taught quite often in Kunshin Yeshi Centre in the Blue Mountains. And this is one of the meditations he did, I think last year when he visited. I believe he's going to give some more teachings online fairly soon. So just keep an eye open for that. But this one is actually, he calls it meditation on self-acceptance, purification, and forgiveness. Self-acceptance, purification, and forgiveness. So basically, it's about giving ourselves a good boost, a good positive reinforcement by, first of all, some rejoicing in our good situation, in all the good things we have done, our good actions, compassion, and so on. Good things that we've done out of a good motivation to help. And then we look at what we call the perfect human rebirth, our precious body that we've been born into, and realize how lucky we are to have that and how it's due to our positive actions in the past. We've earned this human body, and now we need to use it in a positive way. So that's all part of acknowledging our good qualities, our own merits, good actions of body, speech, and mind. Second one is to acknowledge the faults. We're not human. We are human. We're not enlightened. And so therefore we're going to have some delusions, some things that we do unwisely, unskillfully. And this is due to the force of our previous actions, which we call as karma, and also delusions that we have because we're not enlightened. We're still on the path to becoming enlightened. So we acknowledge the faults. So we do need to just spend some time looking at some faults without realizing that we are not the faults, but they are delusions. So these are impermanent things that we can deal with. So we, first of all, recognize the faults, perhaps it's times of impatience or anger, times of attachment, desire, miserliness, and so on. So without getting too involved, we just notice that we've actually have these faults, and that basically you need to look at the causes. And the basic cause is putting the self first. This delusion that we are more important than anything else, and so this is said to be the basic problem. So it's in the mind. The problem is in the mind, and so by observing the way these delusions come up, using mindfulness, we can destroy these delusions. They're just by observing them, seeing how they work. Lama usually calls this observing the superstitious mind. So this is recognizing how the mind works. Then recognizing that they're not intrinsically part of us. We don't identify as intrinsically these delusions, they're intrinsically angry or attached or whatever. We have Buddha nature. Remember this idea that we have Buddha potential, as all sentient beings do. The analogy of the clouds being the delusions and the sky being our Buddha nature. So these delusions are empty of inherent existence. They depend on cause and conditions, and by ridding the causes of these delusions, we can rid ourselves of the delusions. So these are just hallucinations. So the last point is to purify our view of ourselves. So this is just reminding ourselves, or just looking at our world in a very positive way. So Geshe Zopa really states the importance of keeping a happy mind. To keep a happy mind, we look at our environment as being just right. So this helps to destroy the idea of dissatisfaction. There's always something that needs fixing or something not quite right. So he says this is see the outside world is just right. So wherever we are, our house, our friends, our situation in life. So we see the current situation as perfect, as just right, whether we're with partner or without little, again, accepting that situation. So, to quote Geshe Zopi, he says, see every single experience as becoming the cause of happiness. So this happy mind is so precious, he says. The thought of no need in the mind, not having needs. So the more we familiarise ourselves with that sense of contentment, the happier liberation. Okay, so that's where we're going. So let's try the practice. I'm just getting comfortable. So just coming now into the body and the breath for a few moments, calming, restoring our calm, making the mind receptive, open. So we begin our practice on self-acceptance and purification by first of all recalling our good actions, our good qualities, things that we've done right from our childhood to now that we regard as good. Actions of body, speech and mind that we've done with a pure motivation to help others, to be of benefit. So bring to mind perhaps some actions of kindness, generosity, past or past actions that confirm that we have basic goodness. Giving our time, our energy to others, encouraging words, actions. Those actions of positive actions could have been done to our friends, loved ones, to strangers, or even to enemies, difficult people. So these actions of body, speech and mind show that we do have the seeds of generosity, compassion, loving kindness, non-attachment. Giving ourselves credit where it's due, something we often overlook. human form, so rare, so hard to obtain. The result of positive actions done in the past. Vast accumulation of positive actions of body, speech and mind in the past, perhaps over many lifetimes. This has causes, positive causes in the past. Acknowledging that. Acknowledging all the practice that we've done, our meditation, our retreats, our study, contemplation. So having built that ground of confidence and rejoicement in our own good fortune, good merits, we acknowledge our faults. We also have faults. With the faults, we blame the delusions, past negative actions, karmic actions. We don't blame our intrinsic nature, but our delusions, our hallucinations that cause these faults. Faults of dissatisfied mind, impatience, self-cherishing. We're not enlightened. Stilling the mind, observing the mind, observing how delusions arise, observing the superstitions arising. So the reasons these false delusions are not myself is because we have Buddha nature, sky of the mind, the unstained Buddha nature mind. Sky is not stained by the clouds passing through. Of inherent nature, they can be purified. Seeing these delusions as an hallucination. The ignorant mind is a hallucination. And wisdom will destroy that hallucination. Seeing the ignorant mind as a delusion. This is awakening. This is wisdom. The ignorant mind is a delusion. Staying with that thought, the impermanence of the deluded mind, the potential to clear the deluded mind. We are not the deluded mind. So to help purify our view of ourselves, we also purify our view of our environment. Our outside world is just right. This helps build a happy mind, contented mind. how fortunate we are to have a place to live, shelter, how perfect this house is, this place of shelter, protection. Looking at the positive. We have enough food, enough essentials, enough clothing, enough friends. Our situation is ideal for doing our practices, whether single, partner, in a relationship or not. It's right. Think of the advantage of, if we're young, being young, if we're old, being old, middle-aged, being middle-aged. It's just right. As circumstances arise, we change them into the path, see them as positive. Developing a thought of no need, of contentment in the mind, key to happiness. The thought of no need, nothing I need to have in the mind. What a resource, what a treasure to have. A vast resource of contentment. Just staying with that idea of being satisfied and content with our situation. And developing the skill of viewing and treating every experience that comes into our life as a cause of happiness, using mindfulness, awareness, to use that experience on the path to enlightenment, path to liberation. We have the tools, we have the teachings. So finally, we can just dedicate positive imprints on our mind from this practice, or practice we've done in the past, the future, towards our inner contentment, our contentment with our inner world, our outer world, seeing all experiences as part of the path to enlightenment, taking it and using it on the path to enlightenment. what appears at first sight to be a negative experience can be turned into positive. This incredible skill of transforming experiences into the path. So dedicating our merit towards developing this incredible skill, wisdom, full awareness. And then also dedicating, according to Lama Zopa's wonderful dedications he's recently given us, to use when we do our practice in the environment of coronavirus, due to the merits of the 3 times collected by me, all the numberless Buddhas, numberless sentient beings, may all the wars, sickness, famine, torture, poverty, economic problems in the world, or dangers of earth, water, fire, and wind be pacified immediately. May perfect peace and happiness prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. May the Buddha Dharma last for a long time. May the sentient beings in this world meet the Buddha Dharma and achieve enlightenment as quickly as possible. We're dedicating towards that. And thank you so much for being there. It's great to have you. And I hope you have a wonderful day, perfect weather, and good week. And I'll be back again same time next week. So take care, stay well. I'm ending the stream. Bye.